Hey, welcome back, and if you're new here, welcome. Hit subscribe and tap the bell so you never miss a video. And if this one helps you out, a like genuinely goes a long way for us. Let's get into it. Take a specific product, a name brand jar of pasta sauce, a specific box of cereal, a bottle of olive oil with a label you recognize. Now imagine buying that exact product, same brand, same size, same contents, at 5 different stores in your area. You will pay 5 different prices. In some cases, the difference between the cheapest and the most expensive will be 20 or 30% on a single item. And if you multiply that gap across everything in a weekly grocery shop, the difference between where you buy and what you pay becomes one of the most significant and least discussed variables in household spending. Today, we're going into exactly why the same product costs a different amount at different stores. Because the answer is not as simple as one store being cheaper than another. It is a layered system of manufacturer relationships, demographic targeting, algorithmic pricing, location-based strategy, and retail psychology that most shoppers never see. Understanding it doesn't require you to become a professional comparison shopper. It just requires knowing a few things that change how you think about where you buy and why. The starting point is understanding the relationship between manufacturers and retailers, because this is where pricing begins. When a company like a major food brand sells its products to a grocery chain, it sets what is called a suggested retail price, sometimes called the MSRP or the recommended retail price. This is the price the manufacturer suggests the retailer charge the end consumer. But suggested is the operative word. Retailers are largely free to sell at whatever price they choose above what they paid for the product. Some sell at the suggested price, some sell above it. Some, usually the large volume retailers, sell below it as a competitive strategy. The manufacturer has limited practical ability to dictate what the retailer charges the customer, and in the United States, attempting to do so raises antitrust concerns. So the first reason the same product costs different prices at different stores is simply that different retailers make different pricing decisions. And those decisions are driven by entirely different strategic objectives depending on the store. Walk into Whole Foods and walk into Walmart and look at the same national brand product in both places. Whole Foods is positioned as a premium retailer targeting health-conscious, affluent consumers who associate higher prices with higher quality and who come to the store for the experience, the store brand products, and the curated selection as much as for the national brands. The national brand products in Whole Foods are priced accordingly, sometimes significantly above what those same products cost elsewhere because the target customer is less price sensitive and because the store's positioning supports premium pricing. Walmart is positioned as the everyday low price destination, targeting the broadest possible consumer base with a value proposition built on consistent affordability. Walmart's entire brand identity is built around the promise that you won't find it cheaper somewhere else, which means they price aggressively on visible everyday items to maintain that perception. Neither of these stores is making a mistake. They are each pricing to their customer and their position. The practical implication for shoppers is that the store that is cheapest for one category of product is not necessarily cheapest across the board. And the premium you pay at a higher positioned retailer is not always a reflection of a better product. It is often a reflection of the store's target demographic and the pricing strategy that demographic supports. Buying power is the next major factor, and it explains a significant portion of the price variation you see between large national chains and smaller regional or independent grocers. Walmart is the largest grocery retailer in the United States by volume. The scale at which they purchase from food manufacturers is so enormous that they can negotiate prices for inventory that smaller retailers simply cannot access. When a manufacturer is selling 2 million units per week to Walmart, they will accept a per unit price that they cannot offer to a regional chain buying 50,000 units per week. That cost difference flows, at least partially, through to the shelf price. Smaller stores are not being inefficient when their prices are higher on the same products. They are operating at a cost basis that a retailer of their size cannot avoid. The economies of scale that make large national retailers cheaper on staple items are real and structural, not a result of better management or lower overhead. Location is another layer entirely, and this one surprises people because they assume the same chain charges the same prices across all of its locations. Most don't. Major grocery chains divide their store networks into what are called pricing zones, geographic clusters of stores that share a pricing strategy based on local factors. The factors that determine which zone a store falls into include the demographic profile of the surrounding neighborhood, the cost of real estate and operations in that location, the competitive landscape, meaning which other stores are nearby and what they charge, and the price sensitivity of the local customer base as measured by purchase data. A chain that operates in both affluent urban neighborhoods and lower-income suburban areas will frequently charge different prices at different locations for identical products. The store in the higher-income area prices higher because the data shows that the customer base there is less price-sensitive and less likely to shop around based on a small price difference. The store in the lower-income area with stronger competition from discount retailers prices more aggressively to remain competitive. You are not receiving a different product at either location. You are receiving a price calibrated to what the store believes the local customer will pay without choosing to go elsewhere. Dynamic and algorithmic pricing has added another layer of complexity to this in recent years, particularly in online grocery. Large retailers now use pricing software that adjusts prices based on real-time inputs, including competitor pricing, inventory levels, demand patterns, time of day, and even weather. An item that is priced at $3.49 on a Tuesday morning may be priced at $3.79 on a Friday afternoon when demand is higher and the algorithm predicts lower price sensitivity. Online grocery prices especially can change multiple times per day. If you check the price of something in a retailer's app and then go back an hour later, the price may have moved. This is the same technology used by airlines and hotels applied to consumer packaged goods, and it is becoming more common across major retailers. Loss leaders are a pricing strategy that creates some of the most dramatic price differences between stores on specific items, and is worth understanding because it can be used in your favor. A loss leader is an item that a store prices at or below its own cost in order to drive customer traffic. The logic is that customers who come in for the heavily discounted item will buy a full basket of other products while they are there, recovering the margin lost on the loss leader across the broader transaction. Eggs, milk, butter, bread, and certain cuts of meat are common loss leader categories. These are items that a high percentage of shoppers come specifically to buy, making them effective traffic drivers when priced aggressively. The practical implication is that different stores use different loss leader strategies, which means that no single store is consistently cheapest across all categories. Store A might have the best price on dairy this week. Store B might have the best price on protein. A shopper who knows their store's loss leader patterns and shops accordingly saves meaningfully more than one who does the entire shop at a single store out of habit. Slotting fees and promotional pricing add yet another layer of complexity that most shoppers never consider. When a product appears on an end cap display or in a prominent promotional position in a store flyer, it is not necessarily there because the store decided it was worth featuring. In many cases, it is there because the manufacturer paid the retailer for that placement. These payments, called slotting fees or trade promotion allowances, are a multi-billion-dollar part of the grocery industry, and they flow from large brands to retailers in exchange for shelf positioning, display space, and promotional features. The promoted price that results from this arrangement is real. There is typically a genuine discount on the shelf, but the base price may have been set with the promotion in mind, meaning the sale price is actually close to what a competitor charges as an everyday price. A product advertised prominently in a store's weekly circular is not necessarily cheaper than the same product sitting quietly on a shelf at a different store. The convenience premium is the most straightforward pricing mechanism in this video, and also the one people are most aware of, even if they don't name it. A gas station convenience store, an airport terminal shop, a hospital cafe, a movie theater concession stand. These are all retail environments where the same products that exist in a regular grocery store cost significantly more. And the price difference is not driven by a better product or a higher cost of goods. It is driven by the fact that the customer has limited or no alternative at the moment of purchase. The price of the granola bar at the airport is not a reflection of the granola bar. It is a reflection of the fact that you are hungry hungry, your flight is in 40 minutes, and there is nowhere else to go. Convenience is the product being sold. The granola bar is just the vehicle. Online versus in-store pricing is a newer variation of this pattern that is increasingly relevant. Major retailers frequently maintain different prices for the same item in their physical stores and on their websites or apps. Delivery orders may be priced differently than click and collect orders at the same retailer. The cost structures of these different fulfillment methods vary, and retailers pass some or all of those differences to the consumer. Before assuming you are paying the same price online as you would in the store, it is worth checking. The difference is sometimes negligible and sometimes meaningful. The practical use of all of this information comes down to a few simple habits. Price tracking apps. There are several available that aggregate pricing across local stores for the items you buy regularly. Let you see at a glance where a specific item is cheapest without driving to 5 different stores to compare. Knowing which stores in your area use which categories as loss leaders means you can plan your shop around where each item is most likely to be cheapest during any given week. Accepting that no single store is cheapest across all categories and building a shopping pattern around 1 or 2 main stores with occasional strategic trips for specific items is how households that consistently spend less on the same grocery basket operate. For a household spending $500 a month on groceries, shopping with awareness of where prices vary. Taking advantage of genuine price differences across stores on the items they buy most frequently produces savings of 10 to 15% without any reduction in what they buy. That is $60 to $90 a month, $700 to over $1,000 a year. Not from coupons, not from buying less, not from choosing cheaper products, just from knowing that the price on any shelf at any store is one decision among many possible decisions, and that the store making that decision is not doing so with your household budget in mind. Drop a comment with the biggest price difference you have ever noticed on the same product at 2 different stores. We genuinely read every single one, and the specific examples are always interesting. And if you want us to do a video specifically on how to build a strategic multi-store shopping plan that saves money without taking over your whole week, let us know below. Hit the like button if this was useful, subscribe and tap the bell if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.